Welcome back to the Builders of the Broken Bazaar. I'm your host, Dr. Tabish Zaman. Today, let me take you to Finland, which recently has become a hotbed for the refugee story, especially in Europe. In the last few years, the number of arrivals has increased from 24,000 in 2021 to almost 100,000 as of now. Now, this is seen one of the sharpest increase in Europe. Today, Finland is also home to almost 70,000 Ukrainians under temporary protection. And while asylum applications have slowed this year, the reality remains there are tens of thousands of people who are navigating life in a country which, as we must admit, is still learning how to support them. So, for many, that means years of bureaucracy, closed doors, and slow access to jobs. But the studies have shown that when individuals do break through, their employment rates climb steadily. And that does over time, reaching as high as 50 to 57% after a decade in the country. So that is resilience, which is a story worth telling. My guest today, Montasir Mohamed, knows that story very closely. He arrived in Finland as a refugee and he faced the challenges of starting over from zero. Over the past 15 years, he has built Montec and advised companies, taught in schools, and has become the part of the fabric, especially in this society. Now, his journey isn't about business, it's about resilience, belonging, and that personality, and carving out that dignity in a system that wasn't built for him. Montasir, welcome to Builders of the Broken Bazaar.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be in this program.
So, let's start the first few days of your life in this country. I'm sure it was never easy. And again, it wasn't just about a new country, it was about figuring out the institution, figuring out the people, which felt impossible, waiting for so many things and wondering how you will build a life from zero.
Yes.
So,
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
What do you remember most about those early days when you arrived in Finland?
Well, when I arrived, the first thing it was, which I was lucky with it, that I speak English. Anyhow, it was an opening door, key. Uh, the thing is, I didn't know what is next. I just arrived and I didn't know what is next. But I had a warm welcome in this country. That's the truth. I didn't feel like I'm an outsider, and the reason for that it is my my way of life. It has been already since school time. I'm more a social person. I speak, I talk, I discuss with people. I'm not like um, taking 4 steps backward and then go 1 step forward. I would go 4 steps forward and then 1 step backward. So that helps me to feel like I'm okay. I'm in a good place. But the thing is, the first really few days, I was like lost in space. I don't know what is next.
So did you feel some sort of shock, or did you felt challenged in a way, especially in the first few months? Because I believe the times were very different back then, and you have loads of experience behind you, what you have achieved and what you have managed to create out for yourself in this
Mm.
country. But comparing that to now, to what it was back then, must be very, very difficult and very different.
To be honest with you, it depends on the person. It's totally depends on the person. I mean, we are different types of people in kind of way how we think and how we act. Some people rely on somebody; they cannot do something by themselves, and some people they have to do something by themselves. Other people they need somebody to be with them to do something. So when I came to this country, I was watching before that a lot of American movies. It was like a famous thing in the Middle East at that time, like who goes like far to USA or to Australia, whatever, and they work like a dishwasher, washing, he clean and cleaning and whatever. It was like uh, the dream. Okay, for some people. For me, it was like a tool. I will use it to get to what I will need to do in the end. And I had my education, so I was like not a person who knows about IT in that early time. So it was also the second key that opens for me doors.
So, was that the
And
first thing as soon as you entered the country? Was it the first thing which you set your sight on in terms of the education?
no, I have already my education when I came, so I was
Okay.
already an educated person when I entered to the country. But uh, to belong with the people and start to feel like you are with them, you have to take that bold step. And the bold step is like you have to uh, don't take things into yourself. Like when we I many if I can say it like in a way more freely and openly, I say to many people in my life, do not expect everybody to open his hand and say to you welcome. That is not a fact. This is just a fiction. Because if somebody from a country goes to another country, even they treat him well, there will be some people who doesn't like him. The system in Finland, it is more like live your life, I live my life, we are happy. That's how it works here. We have one target, which is our country here. We say Finland. That's the whole thing how it works. And some people you will find who will say, I don't like you. And when somebody says, I don't like somebody, if he is if he is like, an annoying person, people will notice that, he say, I don't like this one, I don't like this one, but he himself, he is an annoying person. But if the other person really acts very bad, and that one he say, I don't like this person, there is a reason for that. It doesn't come from nowhere. And the more and more we have always to remember Finland, it's a 5 point something million. We didn't reach 6 million yet. So we are still a small community. And when somebody comes, I'm not talking to myself, I'm as a Finn, but I'm giving you the expression as a Finn. When somebody comes to Finland, okay, and he tried to integrate himself, he tried to do something. Sometimes when we try once, twice, three times, it doesn't mean there is no possibility for the fourth time. And some things like, I tried once, it's enough. And some things I don't have to time to do any trying. It just goes.
I'm sorry. I think your
Sorry,
camera is gone. Yeah.
yeah, something happened. It just
Yeah.
came a message from that. Yeah.
Okay.
So some people, do that. So here, not to go to the stray, is when I came here, I found so many things I need to get to do it like fast. And one of the things what I needed to do it fast is to integrate myself.
I think you.
Otherwise, if
Yeah. I think you've hit a lot of positives in terms of how you have described your journey. We've just started our discussion, but the way you mentioned the happiness lies within a person, the happiness lies within an individual to see how they want to see. But I also heard you mentioning about the language in terms of obviously you were fluent in the language. Um, but Finland, to a lot of other people who don't know that country or who haven't
yes,
been to that part of the world, can come
yes,
across as a very cold, very isolated, and very offbeat country, especially when we are talking about migrant and refugees. But, it shows what a person you are when you shine that light on that country and say that happiness lies within ourselves as to how we see people around you. And I believe that's the reason why you've managed to build yourself a life which you always wanted to with that positivity, if I'm correct.
yes. When you say it is cold, there is an invention called jackets. I think that is one thing. We have nice jackets here also. Winter jackets, they work winter. I was living in North Finland for many years, and we wear jackets, so we could survive. No worries. The second thing is about the language. The things what motivate me to study Finnish language is I don't want to be. I'm sorry to say it, but I don't want to be like somebody to uh, drop me from the neck and just drag me left and right.
Yeah,
Because I have seen people have lost their life because of somebody just translated them words wrongly. And that I don't want to go to it. And why I could learn the Finnish language, I'm sorry, when crossed my mind something, of course we are human. If we agree on that, all of us, okay, then that means the Chinese, they speak Chinese, and they are 1 point something billion. So how come those people, they can speak Chinese? And I have seen one guy from Yemen who speaks Chinese, one guy I saw from Nigeria who speaks Chinese in my life. So if they can learn Chinese, why I cannot learn Finnish? It's just a language.
absolutely. And I think you're
Yeah.
spot on with that, what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
But my question to you would be, again, given your own experience and given what
Mhm,
you see around yourself,
mhm.
especially in relation to language, in your case, obviously, you see it as a vehicle to integrate in a new society. And also, I feel language is also about understanding what is going around you, and no human or no individual wants to be in the unknown, in a sense that if you don't know the language, chances are you don't know what is going on around you, especially when you're in a foreign environment. But then, moving away from your perspective and what you see around you, people who go to a new country, what stops them from looking at language in a positive way? Why do they hold on to their own language wherever they're coming from, especially if they have an intent to stay within that country? What stops them? What is it about language which stops people from saying, you know what, I don't want to go there? It's too much for me. Is it about identity, you think? Is it about losing who you are, or is it something else altogether?
My point of view.
It is all about
It's
you, Montasir. It's all
yes,
about
yeah.
you.
That's just that nobody will take it as an offense. But uh, I have seen so many people who has immigrated to this country more than what you can imagine. I've been working in a section where we have seen a lot of immigrants who came even to Finland in my life before. Uh, Many of them have a thought that I will come, I will make money, I will go back home. So that means I don't need the language. I will manage, I will survive. And then when the children they start to speak the language because they are going to the school, okay, they have to. Otherwise, they wouldn't. They would have not take them to the school. Some of the immigrants, by the way. So when they go to the school and the children start to learn Finnish, then what do? They take that rope and they give it to the child. Imagine a person who is 55 years of age and a child of 16 years of age driving his life, not for a period of time, no, his life. That 16 years old child taking care of the 55 years old person live, not giving him a cup of water from a point of respect as a parent. No, his life. He managed his vehicle's insurance. He managed his, uh, rent. Everything, and he just have a cup of coffee and happy that he don't have to do something.
Now,
So
you
this is
hope,
one point.
yeah.
This is one point. The second is this is one type. The second type is the language is difficult because I gave once one lecture for the teachers who teach the immigrants the language, and they say that we have difficulty with the immigrants. They don't study. I said it's not with the immigrants. It's you have to understand the base they came from. You are living on a stable base. So you are getting the data and everything like stable. It's like there's no, it doesn't have, interruptions. But when somebody he come from a war zone, so he hasn't been walking on a stable surface. So his mental even set, it is not like, stable. We need to find a bridge so we can give that to this one. But that doesn't goes for all, but goes for many of them. And the final, the third type, which is like, as you said, that if I learn the language, I will lose everything. One thing, I have seen in many countries, some they think like, if I learn the language, I might, how can I say? If even if I speak with Finns, my children can lose the religion. Imagine they have this kind of things,
Yeah.
and in this country, nobody even get closer to your religion if you are okay. So nobody comes to you and you say, "Why you pray?" You can pray on the street and nobody will come to you why you pray. So why you afraid of talking with the Finns, being with the Finns? They have own mentality, they have own life, they have own setup. That we know. We have also our own mentality, our life, our setup. That's fine. But we need to find that bridge between us, which is called a common interest. And the common interest is to build a better society. But when we don't have that common interest, that's why there is a border between us. So many immigrants, they don't see themselves are part in the society. When I was in UK airport, I saw immigrants and UK citizens. And I laugh. I say to the Finnish friend of mine, I say, welcome to the immigration line. You're now an immigrant as well. Well, for me, I have set up an association in Finland. It's called, a love family.
What is it
They say
called once
for,
again?
it's in Finnish, we call it rakasperhe.
Okay.
It's beloved family. And then they say, for whom? Who's your target? I say, everybody. They say, immigrants. I say, immigrants, it is just a title that this person, he immigrate to this country. But as soon as he gets the social security number, he's a member of the society. When the person sees himself as a member of in the society, then he will need to find his seat because he is a member in the society. If I'm a member in the parliament and I don't have a chair, it don't work. So in the society, I need to find my place. I need to fight for my place. I don't need to fight with people. I need to fight with, if boundaries come, I have to go across it.
I
And
think
in Finland, we are a peaceful country, seriously, that we don't need to fight. We just need to have a guts to do something.
which is why I think it sits at the top when it comes to the current European landscape, especially in relation to people who come from outside and
Mhm.
they're trying to make sense of their life in Finland. But I think you beautifully explained the balance in how it is approached from both the sides and what is needed as of now, especially in a broken world. And Finland could be made an example because there's some wonderful things going out there, which is why I have you today, Montasir, to shed light on
Thank
it.
you.
And you're doing that fabulously well.
Thank
Now,
you.
I want to make sure that this is about you. And with your positivity, of course, you're able to talk to me through your experience, through your observation. But again, for a brief moment, if we go back a bit to your early days, very early days. So you spoke to me about the language,
Yeah.
um, the struggle. I know a lot of it is within you in terms of the resilience
Mhm.
you have. But what would you tell people today who are
Mhm.
arriving in the Western country, Western world? And I won't tell you the reason why, because a lot of it is being done by the Western country themselves, where I'm more of a critique there in terms of going to other parts of the world, making all sorts of political gestures down there. But people arriving down here, what would you tell them? What would be your first piece of advice in terms of trying to be a part of the society?
Think 3 times why you came. Because if you don't know why you came,
The real question. The real
yes,
question. Yeah.
sure. So why you came? If you came for money, you can make money in your home country. If you think there is, there is a corruption, corruption doesn't happen by itself. It's not like, it's not like a sun. It appears and it goes, which you cannot control. Corruption, it's made by human. It's not made by, by machines.
But this is where I'll play the devil's advocate, if you don't mind. There are
Okay.
two types of people coming into the Western world in terms of. So you've got people who have no choice, people whose homes have been completely bombarded, ruined, their lives being turned upside down. What would you tell them when they
And
first come in?
remember, you are still living on planet Earth. So wherever you are living, it is your home. If you want to make it home, home is not house. It's not flat. It's not in any other language. It is one word. It is home. Your home can be anywhere. You can do it if you want. So then, if I decided that, okay, this is going to be my home, the society will adopt you and they will take you in. If you also come and try to integrate in the society, but if you come and you don't have that tension, then you will be just like you will still refugee even if you are in a safe country. Your mindset it's still like I'm a refugee. I know a person who came from a country which was bombed so much for 10 years, and he's still calling himself, I'm a refugee, I need help, I'm a refugee, I need help, I need my rights, I need my rights. I say to him that if Finns don't laugh at you, I will laugh at you, because you're not giving a correct picture of a person who immigrates as a refugee.
Hmm.
You came as a refugee, so what did you see? You seek for what? You seek for a better life, and you seek for a stable life. You seek for opportunities, and you have all of them here. No, no, nobody gives me. No, they give you. It only depends on let's say if I give you, this is an example. If I give you 1,000 British pound, okay, and then you just throw it and you see, hey, there is notes on the sky. And then if I give you, for example, uh, 100 pound, it's less. And then you do the same with it. Did it make any difference for you, the notes? Nothing. So if you have a chance once and you have a chance twice, why they have integration programs? Why they know? How can I say? For example, now in Finland, the new integration program. It says, okay, we will integrate you, that you will study the language, and if you can find an occupation, or if you don't have, you can study, and we will pay for that. So you will get support. You will study the language. You can learn something to do. What are you waiting? 3 years of your life you wasted for nothing. After you get the social security number, and then you come to say that they don't. What do you need? Finding a job, it's another issue. Finding a job, it is not a case of immigrants or nothing. It's a job. You cannot find, and so many people they don't have a job. Why they say the word unemployment? Because it's an existing issue. So there is many people who doesn't have a job, but there is a lot of immigrants they have a job.
So I know you are very big on integration, and amongst the so many conversation I had with you, you've spoken a lot about integration.
Hmm.
But when we talk about integration, of course, that is represented by some of the programs by the institutions themselves, like you just gave an example of.
Yes.
But on a more philosophical, on a more emotional level, when we talk about integration, and which is what we are trying to really tease here on this podcast,
Hmm.
um, I strongly believe when we talk about integration, integration is a two-way process, of course. It comes from both the sides, and but
Yes.
then it's about that trust, it's about that relationship, and it's a very slow process, I would say. If someone rushes into the word integration, I would have to stop them and say it's a very slow process of how someone from outside, someone coming from outside can be considered your neighbor, can be considered your neighbor, or who's going to stay with you, live next door or within the same society. So
Mm.
if you can cast your eyes back to how you came about, how did you see it at that time in terms of that trust, in terms of that relationship and that process? Again, was it a long process? Was it a slow process from you becoming part of this society integrally?
I'll make it easy for you. I was living in a city, small town, we call small town, to 25,000 people living. We were 37. 33% they left the town. They went to the big cities. I was living there for about 9 years. And I was the last and the only one immigrant was living there. Okay? If you don't mind, I drink my coffee, guess with whom?
The
With
local.
the bank manager. Okay? I eat my lunch with some landlord and I integrate myself. It depends on you. Trust me.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
depends on you.
No, I think.
Okay, Finnish society, I can give you something to understand, okay, if you don't mind. Now I will go outside, okay, and I will see a Finns and I will say hi. He will look at me. He might answer, he might not. That is his rights. I don't demand it. When you keep giving that smile, he will start to talk. Hi. It doesn't work for everybody, I know, but it works for many. When you say hi and hi, and say, okay, how is the weather today? Oh, it's nice, okay. And it will work. I was living on a building, ninth floor. There is 5 immigrants families, and the rest of the building is Finns. And almost I know half of them. Hi, hi, whatever. Hi. We just say hi. We smile. We give that. The smile it opens doors, and the language it will come with it. And what I like in Finland is if you speak Finnish, like I'll give you one sentence like this. Mitä kuuluu? It means how are you in Finnish. And if I say, now listen to the tone, like mitä kuuluu, this is how it is. And if I say, muita kuailu, that's totally different tone. Believe it or not, the Finns, they will not like, ha 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 ha, he don't know how to speak Finnish. They don't do that at all.
Mhm.
They will answer to you, I'm good. In the Finnish language, he'll answer to you, I'm good. Because they are like this.
How
So
brilliant is that?
if you speak a broken Finnish, even nobody cares. You try. It's for them. It is fine. They don't force you like some other countries where I know that you are forced to speak them language, nothing else. But no, these people they don't force you. So opportunity to be integrated in Finland. I don't say because I like Finland or I love Finland, and they don't pay my 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 rent. My work pays my rent. Okay, but what I like in Finland is like it's an open place to do things. It is literally land of opportunity if you want to do something. Difficult, I assure you it is. A big market or big business, it's not possible. You are living between 5 millions. You are not living, in Germany. You are in Finland, 5 million. So we don't need 20,000 restaurants. So if we have 15,000, try to find another business to do. And there is so many things you can do in Finland.
Once
But you
again,
cannot. There is a lot. There is a lot. Trust me.
you beautifully answered that question to me. And
Thanks.
in terms, like I said, positivity wins over everything. But when you were interacting with people, and again,
Hmm.
that will and desire to interact with people from that society, and will and desire to integrate with people. And again, I wouldn't say even integration, I would say the intent to meet people
Yes.
where you are and be a part of the society. But did you ever question yourself in terms of how you're going to balance your identity? Because you have both the sides, which, given the character you are, given how open you are a very proud man, who takes pride in what he does. How did you balance that? How did you go about balancing your identity, ensuring you have that in the right amount?
Uh, Finnish system and Finnish people, they don't interfere in other people's identity and try to modify it. They don't try to make you Finn. They are proud from themselves to be Finn, and they want you to be who you are. Just be member in the society, nothing else. That's the only demand in Finland. Some people will say, oh, they want my children to be Christian. Some people, they will say, oh, they want my wife to take hijab if she's a Muslim woman. Some people will say, oh, they want my wife to have, my daughter, if he is like, even from another religion or beliefs, they want, to my daughter or my, so many, yeah, they want, but nobody force anybody to do anything.
So, what forces? What do you think is behind such a thinking? Are there some external
Fear,
indicator, or is
fear,
it more
fear,
internal? Fear.
fear,
Okay. Okay.
fear. Fear from unknown,
Yeah.
and fear from other people, experience. Like when you see a video where the police, they take, children, and then the father is screaming on the street, "Oh, you take my children!" Or something. Nobody knows what's the real story.
Mm, mm.
And even so many people, if you tell them the story, they will say, "Ah, it's not a problem. He didn't do so much thing bad. He did this." But the system says he did bad. And then the story will goes forward in different way. And then the fear will start.
So
So
the
the fear, that is the thing.
so the message you're giving through your own experience and through your own observation here is that you've got to trust the environment within which you're operating. You've got to trust the people around you before you earn that trust from them. Because if you don't do that, obviously you have that fear of unknown. There's no engagement, there's no interaction. You're treating the other person or the institution in and around you with suspicion, and that is causing all sorts of problems, which is why you say Finland is such a peaceful country and such a great hotbed to integrate people, and is doing so well. So that was the first stage of how you
Okay,
beautifully explained to me
thank
as
you.
to how your own personality, individual, come into a new country and trying to make sense of what is out there. Now let's move on to the more practical side of it, which is the work. Now, for a lot of the migrants and the refugees, a job market is not an easy place to negotiate. You are talking about employers, you're asking for local experiences, qualification, which you rightly said in terms of, you had the education. But for a lot of them outside, that door seems to close the moment we talk about the experience, the moment we talk about qualification. So that leaves us with the third opportunity, that is entrepreneurship, or setting up your own business to take control of your life. How did it work for you, Montasir? How did you make sense of that?
Okay, can I go a little bit backward?
Please, yeah,
When we
yeah,
talk about
yeah.
the job, yeah, when we talk about the job, okay, there is an age racism. This is we know, and it's in every country. When you're certain age, then maybe you will not get a job easily. That we know. So we skip that one. Let's go to the young people. Somebody, he is well educated and he don't find a job. So if I don't find this job, I'll try another job. If I don't this job, I'll try another job.
So,
But
for
if
my
I'm,
audience, sorry to interrupt, for
mm,
my
yeah,
audience,
yeah,
when you say the qualification, which, and I'm referring to individuals who've got qualification from their home country.
yes,
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Also in Finland, both.
Okay.
If I am a doctor,
Mm.
okay, let's say, let's take an example, a country, okay, Uganda. It's just somewhere in Africa, correct. Now, they speak, I believe, own language and they speak English. Let's go still this way. Okay. Or much easier, we say the country where I know they speak their own language is like, say, Kenya. They speak Swahili and they speak English. So now I graduated as a doctor in Finland in Finnish language. And then I go to Kenya. How many percent do you think I will have a chance to work as a doctor? 0%. Why? Because I don't have the language. Because I am operating on human. It's not a joke. I need to have the language. So we receive doctors who immigrate to Finland and they say we cannot learn the language, but we want to work. How are you gonna tell to somebody you have a headache if you don't know how to say it in Finnish? I can say it in English. So are you forcing the society to switch to English language for you to work? That doesn't work. That is why language is important. It's a key to communicate. It's not because it's Finnish language. It's just a key for communicate. Imagine you are in a train station in France and one Finnish person, he's on the ground and he needs somebody to tell him what he should do because he was injured. And you from nowhere appears and you speak the language. And you are not even a doctor. Imagine your role when you just say in the Finnish language to somebody. So imagine you are a doctor who speaks Finnish. So you are a double joker. No. Well, so language it is one. Here in Finland, if you are a doctor, you have your certificates, you have the language, you will have a chance to work. If you are a lawyer, you have your certificates, you can work. So there is no place like, I cannot work. To find a job, as I said previously, that it's difficult, it's everywhere. It's not only in Finland. That's a fact. But try and try and try. Now, about the entrepreneurship, I gave a lecture once and I said we have three types of entrepreneurs. One, he just wants to be an entrepreneur because he don't want to be somebody to command him. He wants to be his own boss, but he don't have the mindset of the entrepreneur. The second, he just have money and he wants to do business, but he don't have the mindset. The third one, he knows what does it mean to be an entrepreneur. It is not running behind money. It is a game. Enjoy it. Money comes, it flows and goes, but to grow and to do things. And this is the best type. And I have learned how to be to that third one. And I'm still learning. I didn't reach to that level. I don't run behind the million, but I'm running behind the challenges and enjoying the life because entrepreneur, it's a nice game.
And
This is how I see it.
I think again, once again, Montasir, with how you explain, we read so many journal articles and we write so
Mhm,
many papers around the entrepreneurial mindset. And I
mhm.
think you've summarized that beautifully in terms of what the mindset is when it comes to entrepreneurship. So, which leads me to the question of your organization, Montec,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you are the entrepreneur behind that. So, what I want to know from you is, was it always in your plan, or you felt the circumstances pushed you towards what you've done with Montec?
Mm, how can I say? I was in an IT field and I end up working different jobs beside the ITs. And then I noticed the chance to do contracts. And I didn't think about, doing own company or going to the entrepreneur even life. And then somebody says that, why don't start up your own company? I say, and do what? And he say, do the contracts. I say, okay, let's try. I started 2010. That was 1998, sorry. 1998, that was the first. I made a company. It was an M-A net agency anyhow. The name was that time important. I traveled abroad and I was trying to make one big project. It was like the first hope. It didn't work. It didn't work because I didn't knew that time that you cannot make big projects and you're one single person. It have to be big company. So I came back to Finland and then I decided, okay, I was there anyhow for 2 months. I came back to Finland and I said, should I close the company or what should I do? And I think, hey, let's try it. And then I found myself that, hey, I can work. I have the language, I have the knowledge, I can work. So I made 2, 3 contracts and it goes forward. My income was too low, too much from the entrepreneur issues. And because I didn't focus to do, business. And then after that, I had to close it. And then 2010, uh, I started again the company and I got a project which was like the hit, what I needed. It works. I got 3 projects after that. And then I had a job on the side. And then I decided, okay, now I need to know what I need to do. I don't want to keep just doing projects and I don't have any plans or targets or something. It's not about collecting money. I can work and I can get the money. For me, if I have, a cup of coffee and a little bit of bread is enough. I'm not like, I need to have materials. It's not main target. I need to enjoy, the life. That's the main target. Mm, then I decided that, okay, I need to study something else beside the IT. And that's when I learned the multimedia life, which is now they are different sections, but in the early time, we say multimedia, it means video and audio and all this stuff and photo. And so I learned it very well. And then I create websites. And then I noticed that, okay, people start to ask advice. And then I decided, okay, why don't I learn the marketing? Because I need to know not to me how to market for me. They will need an advice from me. So I need to learn how to give advice because it helps and they pay for it. So I decided, okay, so I studied marketing very well, and especially from an immigrant's perspective views and uh, Middle East, Africa, also market, how does it work to help the Finns how to go to do business there. So I was like a link, in between. And I worked as a consult for many years for that. And I gave lectures. And then I decided, okay, there is one thing I need to try to do. And that was like the thing which I loved most. Why I don't do something called business development? Sorry, which means I develop companies who's going to collapse or they don't know how to raise up on something. And the first client, you won't believe, it was a Finnish company. And I was surprised that he accepted that. I made the PowerPoint for him. I made the plan for him. I called to the chairman. I said, okay, I'm working as a sales manager in your company. Now I'm going to show you things we should develop. And then when I show him the big picture, he said, okay, I'm going to handle you the company. You will be the CEO of the company. That was what I needed. Develop a company, it was my target. But when I reached to be CEO, it's the time when I said to myself and to any immigrants, if you want to do it, you can do it. So to manage a Finnish company, it is not something just coming like this. There is a lot of challenges. Even this one makes challenges. Oh, who cares? I don't mind. From here to here. Because I have a target. So then I started to do that business development. So I joined all the forces I have: the IT, the marketing, the designing, all the multimedias, and all of the package and the experience in life. and it works. I got one company, I jumped to another company. Once I tried to handle two companies and I noticed it doesn't work, so I skip it. Even it's a good money, but forget about the money. I need to do good, so I need to keep my reputation because that is my value. So then I carry on, and the last company I managed, it was 2022 until 2020. Yeah, from 2020 to like 1.5 year. And there is a company, there is a department here in Finland we call Asiakastieto. It is who keeps record of the companies and the level. And that company I managed, they got two golden certificates, which means 21% of the whole Finnish companies can have that level. So they got two in a row, 23 and 24. So that was for me when the owner, he called me and he said, "Would you like to drink a cup of coffee?" I say, "Yeah, why not, for the old time's sake." And then he showed me on the wall, "Look what we have received." I said, "Oh, thank you. That's what I need, is to be happy for that." And then I switched back to my to the city council, or city called Vanta. They called me to be as a project specialist. They had one project, I need to finalize it. And I did my job. And then I focus again into the company, and now I'm doing other challenges.
I think I think what you just described here, Montasir, was, of course, your desire in terms of your intent, of course. Again, there was success along the way, and which is why you are here where you are. But what really shone through what you just told me was your innate desire to learn. I saw how you switched in between so many different parts of what you wanted to do as part of the organization. But more
Mhm.
importantly, keep learning, keep learning. And I can still see
Yes.
that in your eyes, which makes you a great inspiration, not just to any immigrant. I'm an immigrant myself, but to a younger generation in today's world, when we are all running after social media and artificial intelligence. What really keeps you apart is that desire to learn and learn things which you're not comfortable with. Learn
Mm.
things which are very, very difficult. And that is what is that cradle for success. So, amidst all of this, what you have done and what you've achieved, can I ask you about one of the biggest risks you took while you were negotiating all this ups and downs, going through projects after projects or having no projects? So, if you sit back today with a cup of coffee, what was your biggest risk which you ever took in your life?
There is plenty of them. Life without risks cannot be life. But the biggest one which I took, it was uh, I traveled to the country which I don't know am I coming back or not. And that was like, something I just took it. And when I step into that country, it's like, you go in to somewhere you don't know, and when you find out that you have been landed on the Canary Island or Honolulu Island, that happens for me. And that in that country I had a big opportunity. But the risk I took, that was the time when that was the biggest business risk I took.
So, your own company, Montic, which is doing so well right now, when you are building it, brick by brick and metaphorically as well, um, from an entrepreneurship perspective, you're looking at finance, you're looking at getting people who could trust you, both from a project perspective and internally as well. And
Yes, of
even
course.
small things like maybe dealing with banks or landlord, it could be very difficult, or it could be new or very different. But How did you go about dealing with those challenges in terms of if you saw them as roadblocks?
Okay, comparing to UK, it's a big, huge difference. Okay, just to clarify for you, Finland system works like an application. You press, it gives you a result. That's it. So where is the problems? You want to start a company, log in, register, you will get it registered. You want to rent a place, sign the agreement electronically, and you have the keys. You have a problem with the payment, make a phone call and arrange an installment. What else?
But where's the human element in this? Because a lot of the questions would come where you'd say you are different, you belong somewhere else, and again, is sometimes those things are unsaid. It may come up in different ways, but again, coming from a country or being a part of this country, you can understand this. But did you have to face that as well? Who you are, your name
Yes,
defines who you are.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. My name define, my skin define, my language define, my face define, my walking define, my clothes define. Who cares? I'm still on planet Earth. I mean, I have to accept these things and just go forward. If I don't have a place here, it is not written for me to be here. I go to someone else to try. But if I stuck and I say, no, they don't want me, no, they don't like me, no, they don't want this one, why should I create these bundles for me? Just go forward. Knock this door, doesn't open, go to knock another door. How many doors you have in the biggest, building? You have 3,000 doors. Knock 3,000 doors. As long as you're breathing, just knock the doors. You have to see it from this way. Imagine that person country, he comes to your country, how his life would be. If he talk with the people, he would, manage to go in. We have seen, like, for example, let's say, for example, okay, I am from Yemen. I go to India, okay, and then I start to say to somebody like hello, and they say hello, and I go okay, no problem, and I go to the second hello. Someone will say hello, and then he will teach me like, okay, you can say Kesa. I said, oh, okay, okay. I said, and the next day, the one who I told him hello, maybe I go to see him, Kesa. He will say PK. Okay, now I got two-person. I will just go forward. And one of them, maybe he will say, what do you do for a living? I say, no, I'm this one. I'm a carpenter, but I don't know. I can find, somebody, maybe he needs somebody to do for him something. This is the human nature. This is not Finnish nature. This is not Indian natural. This is a human nature. We are like this. But if I'm sitting in the community and I only speak my language, I only do my own things. You do your own things. You speak your own things. It's okay. Stay with it. And there is nobody on this planet who can say, my whole family, they love me. We have brother siblings who don't love each other sometimes. So how do you think like Finns will come and, oh dear Habibi, oh my friend, come and hug. That's not exist. Because the same will happen for the Finns when they go to your country. Not everybody will tell them, oh, you are most welcome. Somebody will say what these immigrants they do here. So the same here is going to happen. So what does it mean? We still both of us live on planet Earth. If we go
Again,
to different planet, then it's different.
once again, you've shown such a light on this aspect and perspective, which again, a lot of people miss on. So you've indirectly answered my next question. I wanted to
Mm.
give you a choice in terms of what really pushed you through. Was it your mindset? Was it the community, or was it something else altogether? But it's clear, it's very clear to us, to my audience and myself, that it's your mindset which has actually allowed you to do what you managed to do. And I can see you're a very resilient guy, very resilient individual. But more importantly, all of that comes intrinsically. All of that comes
Mhm.
from inside. Keep
Yeah.
keep trying, keep trying. So I can clearly see you as a bridge to a world right now, which I feel other parts of Finland, I'm not talking about Finland, other parts of Europe or the world, which really needs individuals like you. But what would you have to say when people come up to you and tell you or ask you that migrants and refugees, when you put them in a box, when you put them in a category, they are really not contributors within the society. They are mostly dependent on either their own community or dependent on a community which is alien to them. What would you tell them through your own story and many others which you have seen from your own perspective?
Unfortunately, yes, it's true. The things what makes people not interact and integrate themselves and understand what does it mean and integrate. Integration doesn't mean take your scarf. Integration doesn't mean, to shave your beard. Other Muslims, for example, integrating doesn't mean, your son or your daughter have to drink alcohol. This is our habits. People do. They do it own way. Integration for me means when the traffic light is red and the car stop. Also, you do respect when it is red. You stop. When the children have to go to school 8 o'clock, it means wake up your child by 7, make him ready, not waking him by 5 to 8 and then push him to the school. Integrate with the system by yourself. Wake up, do something, go to the library in the morning, feel the morning rhythm, do something. But when the system takes the person in and trying to give him the comfort in the beginning, that he can feel like he's in a safe environment, and then try to teach him what is around him and how the things is working here. That comfort makes that person like, yeah, I love it. Maybe I can continue living in it. So what should I do? I will do that trick. Do you understand what we say? Huh? Do you know what we're talking about? Huh? Okay, we still have to teach him. And he will be, huh? Until he reaches 20. And then he will notice that. No language, no job, no education, nothing. So then you cannot say that they don't take us, they don't take us. Some countries have different programs for immigrants. Some countries are difficult. Some, we understand. But again, I say, okay, let's say there is one good thing happen in Europe and not in the same time. Something called Europe Community. We became a bigger EU, okay. So what does it mean? You come to integrate, you come to Italy as a refugee. They will give you something which called soggiorno. It's a certificate. You have your soggiorno, which says you can travel inside Europe for 3 months in a period. This is a EU law. So you come to Finland and you found a job. Put your application, switch your residency, okay, and you can work. If they refuse to give it to you, find out the reason, try to fix it, try again. Finland doesn't work for you. There is Sweden. Sweden doesn't work for you. There is Holland. Holland doesn't work for you. There is Denmark. Denmark doesn't work for you. There is France. So you have so many countries, over 22. Yes, yes. But why should I complain? I came, they don't give us, they don't do us. I didn't live in paradise. But according to them, I'm here in Finland in paradise. Okay, you see that I'm in paradise. Come. But you cannot come and then you say, give me, give me, give me, give me, I won't give you anything. So to get a stamp that you have residence in Europe community, which means you can travel all around Europe. It means you have not one place to find a job in. You have 22 countries where you can go to anywhere you want with the same stamp. But when you don't have this thinking way, and you think like, I'm here in Spain, I cannot do anything. If I go somewhere, and you know what big lie so many people they do for themselves? I came to Europe, I'm gonna wait for the permanent residence. Okay, you got the permanent residence. So now you are stable. Fine. No, I'm waiting until I get the citizenship and then I go back home. Okay, you got the citizenship. Yes. Okay, are you going back home? No, I cannot go. Why? Because my children are grown up now here in this country and I don't want to take them there. There it becomes like a wildlife. Okay. So how many years did you lose from your life? 10? Did you learn the language? No, just a little bit to get nationality. So who do you blame? And I mean, seriously, who do you blame? You blame me because I make that decision. If the system say you can learn and I don't want to learn because I'm not here, I'm there, but physically I'm here. So that is why we have problem with people talks about immigrants. And inside us, there is so many people, they try really to survive and try to get better and try and try and try. But cannot see them always.
I think this is a very important discussion, and it makes sense when it comes out of individuals like you who have really given it all and understand or made a real attempt at understanding the system. And system has so much to offer in a lot of the cases, especially Finland. But what I want to ask you here is just moving away from this, the role of community. And when I say community, I mean not only your own immediate people around you, but
Uh-huh.
how you see community outside your own people who share, again, who share a different ethos, different values, but then how you make them a community. What role has that played in your life and in your business and in your journey in Finland?
Can you reform the question, please?
How do you see community around you?
Which communities do you mean? Us, them,
Yes,
who?
your own immediate community, whom you can relate in terms of the language, in terms of the food, in terms of the culture, but also, like you have been talking to me, community outside your own community. So the
Yeah, you
Finnish
talk.
people.
So the
Yeah.
Finnish people.
Yeah.
Okay. As I say to you, I'm seeing myself as a member of the society. So I don't see any difficulties. I don't see.
Mhm.
I'm not. You say I see things positively or something. This is the way I want to make my life. This is the way I'm trying to design my life positively. I have to see things from positively. When negative comes, that is things I have to fix. But in the normal line, it's a positive life. Of course, I will get negatives. It's obstacles. I have just cross and got over it. I mean, okay, when you learn how the Finnish people they think, them culture, what do they eat, what do they drink? So what does it gives you? It gives you kind of a picture of the person, correct? So if I know that the Finnish society, they are more a quiet people, then I know they are a quiet people. Some other people, they say, no, they are very cold, like cold, because it's cold country. So the people also, they are very cold. No, they are not cold. When you are living in a stable life and a peaceful life, why you have to scream? You don't need to scream. When somebody he come, if you are like living in a place where it is peaceful and somebody come and he carry on a knife, you will not go to him like, hey, what you gonna do? I want to fight. And you will not do that if you are in a peaceful life. You will be like, "Oh, hey, please don't hurt us." So that doesn't make him cold. He is that person. You want to talk with the Finns? get closer to them. They will not bite you. Yeah. But as I said, the fear. I'm fearing from the Finnish effect on my home. If my wife, she know a Finnish woman, then she might turn my wife into Finn. If I have Finnish children with my son, they may turn my son from, from his own identity, and he will become where we are living. We have the same picture in Germany, and there is many German kids talking with, with the immigrant kids. You go to Canada, you will see so many immigrants talking with the Canadians. So, I mean, when we talk about colors, even you have seen so many white with so many black. If we want to say black and white, which I don't believe on it because just the skin color. And so, why you cannot be here? It's the fear.
No, I
It's
think
only
that
the
makes
fear.
that makes so much sense, Montasir. And
Mm,
again, your wise head has really put a very stable explanation on that. So thank you so much for that.
you're welcome.
I've got one more question, and I'm very mindful of the time. One more question before we head into the quick fire round, and then we'll close the session.
Yeah.
My last question before the quick fire round is around the
Mhm.
emotional state of individuals who are far removed from their own country,
Yeah.
and then they've come into a new country altogether, and you were amongst that.
Yes.
How do you how do you deal with it emotionally? Where do you look for support? Where do you, like, you're a very practical individual, and you've given examples and you've showcased your personality that way, where you're very open, you go talk to people, you discuss with people, again, you don't give up, you keep trying in a way that keeps you busy. But then there is this emotional state, isn't it,
Yes.
which makes us think sometimes, and often at different stages of our life. So how do you deal with that?
No, you touch. Uh, we are here so little in Finland. So many. It's like not so many people. Our community, uh, like let's say Arab communities, it is divided because of different countries, and and I've been living here for many years, like alone, with not having my own people. And when I traveled home in 2014, first time in my life to visit my mother, and I noticed that I'm an outsider, unfortunately. And when my people they came here with the wave of 2016, 2017, when the immigrants they entered to Finland and everywhere in Europe, the 2 million. Among them came so many people like from my country, and I sit with them, and then I noticed that I'm one of the people when we say lost in translation. And then after a while, I realized that this is not only me, there is a whole generation, and not only in Finland, lost in translation. When the families they come in my age, children grow up, they don't have a community, own community. And then they become 30, and he is not belonging to this community or to that community. He's in the middle. So I'm uh, one of them.
I think very well said that. Thank
I
you so
don't,
much.
the missing home for me, no, but missing to the childhood of mine, yes. Until today, when I wake up in the morning, I put some old movies, like old movies, just on the background, just to have the atmosphere that I am in my old home room, in my place, like doing lectures, but now I'm coding or doing some writing or preparing some lecture or something. Sometimes I put cartoons, the old cartoons, just to hear the noise on the background. Old music, I always listen. I have that, the need, and that what keeps me. But thanks to God, and then thanks to I'm immigrate so young here into Finland, so I didn't have a lot of our culture with me. And thanks to a person who entered to my life, it's my wife, and she reshaped Montasir again to be an immigrant with a culture.
Again, that's a
Yes,
beautiful story, isn't it? I mean,
yes,
how you there are lots of caveats here, and I would love to. I wish I had more time. I'd love to get into this a bit more. A person, Muntasir as a
yeah.
person, but you've given us a flavor of who you are that way, and that ties into my next question. Now, these are quick fire questions. Um, so it gives you an opportunity to give me a one word or a one sentence answer to this.
Mm.
And I'll ask you three of them. So the first one is, if a policymaker comes in today, Muntasir, the founder of a big company which has been doing so well in Finland, and they are pointing towards a new wave of immigrants, new wave of refugees coming into the country, irrespective where, not just
Mhm.
Finland. What would be your advice to them? One piece of advice you'd give them.
Don't give up
Mhm.
on your when you want to do and you want to start to do business or to do, don't give up.
Okay. And on the
Yeah.
other side, the policymakers or the host institution or the government or the council, they come to you and say, Muntasir, you've got loads of experience, you understand the mentality, you understand the perspective.
Mhm.
What would you tell them?
To be honest, nothing, because they gave everything.
So you think their intention alone was good enough because they wanted to do something for a group of migrants and refugees who are coming into their country, and they've got a good infrastructure which could actually work.
When you come to Finland and you say, I want to start a business, and you don't have any knowledge about business, okay, they will teach you how to be an entrepreneur. They have so many courses, they have so many lectures, they have so many organizations helps you how to be an entrepreneur, how to start business in Finland. If you have a good idea, they might support you to sustain your life for 6 months up to 12 months. So you don't have to worry about the rent, for example, or about your food or something. Just do if you have a little bit. If you have a good idea and you have a good business plan, you might get a fund on your ideas, on your business plan. If there is. So what can I tell them? They offer, and they don't offer for immigrants, they offer for member of the society. That's the difference. We have to get out of that box. I am not an immigrant. I am a member in this society. If I get out of that box, I will feel myself I am in. And I don't have to expect everybody on the street to tell me that I like you. I just have to like myself and be proud of myself because the system offers. It's only left, it is me. So if you start and you don't find, don't give up. Try to find. You will find the doors. Trust me. They will be somebody who will guide you. We try, another organization, they try to help people. I'm sorry, just to say one thing. There is a say, I've been a sentence, been hearing it so many times for the last few years is, you can make money while you are sleeping. I think you have heard this sentence. Yeah. Believe it or not, there is so many immigrants, they think that you can make money while you are sitting on the sofa. Well, it doesn't work this way. An entrepreneur doesn't mean money. Entrepreneur means grow. Yes.
And I think that's a
I
very,
hope this answered.
yeah, and that's a very powerful answer and message as well. I'll tell you in a very simple way. My last question to you is: would you agree with me? And you don't have to agree with me. The current state of affairs in the world, is it a positive, or from what you are seeing, is there anything which needs fixing in and around you?
I say again.
Is there anything around you,
Uh-huh.
whether that is in politics, whether that is in education, whether that is in society in general? Do you think it needs fixing? It is completely
Yes.
broken?
Um, Completely broken? No.
Okay. Okay.
Needs to be, somehow shaped, modified a little bit. Some things more. Yes, there is a lot.
Okay. Okay. Could,
Uh,
could you point to one thing which I could take home
it- it-
for my audience?
he- uh, yes. Okay. Let's say we're talking about Finland, for
Yeah.
example. Okay. Uh, the understanding of the need of the language, okay, has to be changed,
Okay.
because many people, they are being forced to learn the language to get job. Okay, this is one thing. The second thing is to to take this. We have a lot of like people giving a negative message about the integration itself. And it's like, how can I say? I'm trying to reshape the sentence where, like, the snowball,
Yeah. Yeah.
when it's rolling, it grows and it grows and grows.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the negativity has been growing about immigrants more and more and more, because of so many people who do, stupid things, and it grows. So that picture, it have to be broke. And the one who can break it, it is not only we, it's both sides. But we need to find a solution how to do that. And the only way to find a solution to do this, it's we need to think like how to build a better society. So for me, if you say what things to be changed, it's the mentality, the way of thinking of integration have to be like, would you like to be a member of the society? If the system says, would you like to be a member of society, it doesn't mean the nation says that. But if you want to be, the system will help you to be a member in the society. And the society now becomes different comparing to 20 years ago. Now we are more internationalized. Everywhere it's international life. Even Finland becomes international. So what does it mean? You can come in much softer than 20 years ago. Nobody will come and say, you are black, you are really a human, you're an immigrant. I don't know. Oh, I never seen you. In Finland, we haven't seen, so many my colored people 40 years ago. So I would have been like, something special. But now we are everywhere.
I'll tell you, I think your answers clearly show and what you've shared with us. So, first of all, I'd like to thank you and tell you what makes you special is your mind and your heart. I think you're one of the most positive person I've met in a very, very long time. And all I would say is to my audience here, although this story is pretty much set in Finland, where Montasir is from, but what he has told us today and what he has shared with us today is very, very universal. And he clearly has focused the light on something which shatters the narrative around who we are as migrants, who we are as refugees, because it's all about our contribution to the society we live in and reshape that society, which is ours, because we are part of that. So until next time, please keep listening, keep questioning, and keep doing well in a bazaar which is yours. Thank you so much for listening.